Okay, we have Katie Dortch joining us today. Hi, Katie.
Hi.
Katie is a working mom. She has 4 kids, which makes me just kind of break out in hives a little bit because I'm the struggle with managing 2 children myself. But so Katie has 4 kids. She's a working mom. She has a couple of businesses with her husband, and she is our April speaker on embracing and navigating change. So, welcome, welcome.
Thank you.
So what we want to do today is just ask Katie a few questions and help our restored mamas get to know her a little bit and tell you what you can expect from our event that is happening 1 week from our recording date today. So we'll probably put this up on the interwebs in a couple days, but a week from today is going to be our event. So Katie, first, can you tell us a little bit about your family?
Yes. Okay. So, like you said, I have 4 kids, 2 girls. The older 2 are girls, the younger 2 are boys. Oldest is 13, youngest is 3. I used to be a nurse. I used to work at Wake Med in Cary. I was an ICU nurse, but now I work with my husband and we're in real estate. So, we actually recently celebrated 13 years of marriage.
Oh,
So,
congratulations.
yeah. We live in Apex now, but I grew up in North Raleigh and we kind of moved around. Our first house was in Holly Springs and moved to Cary and then now Apex. But yeah, that's
You've been all over. I'm a North Carolina native as well, so I feel like having us both here is like spotting 2 unicorns in like North Carolina because there's so many people moving in from out of state.
yeah. I mean, I was born in Kansas City, but we only lived there for a year, so I count.
Oh yeah, this is home for sure. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, tell us what you do during the day. You've got your family, and you've got your husband and your kids. So what do you do during the day?
Okay, so we technically run 2 different companies. We have the Inspiring Investment, which is a real estate investing company has been traditionally focused on fix and flip renovations and rental properties. And we also have a blog that kind of coincides with that brand, and it's all about like life, business, renovations, and real estate. And then the second business is Brecken and Oaks Real Estate Team, and it's just an intimate residential real estate team serving buyers and sellers in the Triangle. But basically, I wear a lot of hats, but my main roles are operations, marketing, and design. And a typical workday starts with a cup of coffee. You're
Always.
right, actually. Yeah, I know. Like, I mean, it's right here in my
Yeah. Same. Yes.
house. um, yeah, you're right. Actually brings it to me while I'm still in bed because I need it right when I wake up.
What a sweetheart.
Yeah. And then we tag team. So he takes the girls, he makes sure they get breakfast. At this point, they're kind of making their own breakfast.
Good.
He'll get
Great.
them to school and then heads into the office while I kind of hang back with the boys, spend a little time with them, make them breakfast, get them dressed for the day, and then try and get myself ready as well. And then our babysitter comes in at 8:30, and then I head into the office. And then on a good day, I'm able to get up early and spend time with the Lord and just read, but that doesn't always
Oh,
happen.
yeah. Yeah. Same here too. Yes.
um,
That's always ideal to do that first thing, but sometimes reality just doesn't let that happen.
yeah, I do my best.
That's all we can do.
Then Mondays are our team meetings, and I try and at the beginning of each week make my priority list from the day for the week, and kind of work from there.
Okay, fantastic. Well, you stay busy, I know. And being a working mom is difficult. Being a mom at all, no matter if you're working in the home or out of the home, is difficult. But when you're working outside of the home, there's some additional like considerations and things. So what is something that you just love about being a working mom?
Oh, there's a lot of things I love. I love business. On any given day, you can find me writing a process, creating a template, um, planning out content, communicating with lenders. It is hard though to juggle work and motherhood, and it's a constant learning curve that I have not perfected. I can't pretend to
Yeah, me neither.
have that down pat. But as mothers, the work we put into like correcting, guiding, mentoring our kids, we don't see the fruit of that until down the road. And one of the things I love about my job is walking into a project that's completed after it's all staged and beautiful. And there's just something about seeing, um, it's just satisfying to see a project you've toiled over for months and months just come to completion.
Mm.
Especially with like the kind of work that we do, because we see these houses that are really kind of, they're just destroyed, and they're kind of ugly. And um, to see such a change, it just brings a lot of satisfaction. It really makes me think of that verse, Philippians 1:6. And I wrote it here because I'm gonna quote it. And I'm sure of this, that he who began a good work in you will bring it to completion at the day of Christ Jesus. So
Oh,
it just, I mean, the work, it like coincides with what God does in us. And it also gives me hope for parenting. Like, this is going to come to completion, and there's going to be a closed circle at some point. And yeah, that's what,
all the work of parenting will pay off
yeah.
eventually. Yes. Well, when I thought about this topic of change months ago, I was like, who would be a good speaker on this? And I couldn't help but think of like all the parallels with your work.
Mhm.
Um, because you and I don't know each other outside of Restored, right? So we
Yeah.
just kind of have kept up with each other through that. And I've been following your blog and your Instagram, and I love seeing the before and after shots of like this ugly, broken home that could be something, but it's not quite yet. And through this process of change, which is often messy and things get uglier before they get better, I'm guessing. And then this beautiful picture at the end. I was like, she would be a good option, I feel like, to talk about this. So can you talk a little bit about kind of what that looks like and how change has played to your life?
Oh yeah. It's funny that you asked me to speak on this subject, because I actually don't like change at all.
Who does?
um, yeah, I mean, you're right, though. I've learned to do it. And as I mentioned above with like balance, um, the the hardest part about it is that it's not concrete, it's fluid. And so it's not something that we can, base consistency off of. And so, for example, right now, a good balance for me is I'm working 3 days a week, and I don't work any more and I don't work any less. And that's what works right now. And I've noticed when I work more, my kids act out more, they're whinier. Um, and they just need me more. When I work less, I don't feel like I'm accomplishing anything. And so that's what works right now, but that's not necessarily how it's going to be in a year from now. And so there's been lots of little things like that I've learned over time in business and balancing life and family, that where I've learned how to embrace change, because that's just a part of life. It's not going to change the fact that we have to embrace change. So
Yes,
yeah.
exactly. The
Yeah.
fact that we can expect change is the only
Yeah.
consistent thing, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And as a believer, I really think that it's an act of submission. So just submitting to the will of the Lord and where he has you.
I love that. Yeah. Well, tell for women who are watching this, can you help us understand what they could expect if they come either virtually or in person to our April 13th event? What can they expect from that conversation or that talk that you're leading?
Yeah. Well, I plan to share an example of how God created beauty from ashes in my life, and how he's used our entry into flipping houses to do that.
Mm.
I'll share some strategies that I use as a believer to adjust to change. And I'll also cite some examples through the years of some things that we've learned in business and in family that have helped us as we've grown and developed and changed.
Yes, I am so looking forward to this because our family has a lot of change happening right now, which you and I were talking about earlier. But I will be there taking notes like crazy. So I'm looking forward to it. If people want to find you or follow you or learn more about the things that you're doing just on a daily basis, how could they do that as we lead up to this April 13th event and even after that?
Yeah, of course. I am pretty active on Instagram, and our handle is the.inspiring.investment. Um, but you can also find us on our blog if you're a reader. It's theinspiringinvestment.com. And feel free to subscribe to our email list, and we can send out project updates, and we share some tips and how to start open houses and all that stuff. So
Love that. Well, thank you for spending your time talking to me here and spending your time with our restored moms on the 13th. I think it's going to be such valuable content that has some takeaways that moms in any season of life really can apply. So thank you so much, and I am personally looking forward to it. And I know our moms will just enjoy it. So thank you.
of course, thanks for having me. I'm excited too.
Absolutely.